Sir, as you said, you came to Ambuzugai. What was your first impression of Ambuzugai town?
Ambuzugai town. Ambuzugai town in 1965 was a very small village. The population was not more than 7,000. The important places in Ambuzugai were the TB Sanatorium on the hill, Jogai Mandir, Magistrate Court, and schools and colleges. There is only one college, Yogeshwari Mahavidyalaya. And one road was leading to the Mandir, second to the sanatorium, and third the bus route from Parli going to Aurangabad. And there was only one bus every morning for Aurangabad and one bus from Parli. There are not many more buses. There was no bus stand at all.
Oh.
No. There was a tree, and under the tree, many tongas were there, at least two tongas. You know tonga?
Huh?
Horse-drawn carriage.
Huh.
Two tongas were there, three tongas under a tree. That is where the bus also stopped.
Is it?
Yes, that is where the tonga started to the college side. And everybody went to the temple. And then the courts were busy. The TB Sanatorium was also busy. And some students walked to Yogeshwari Mahavidyalaya on the other side.
Oh.
See, at the tonga stand, there was a tea stall. A very tall, small tea stall, and a man having a radio in the tea stall. And what did you hear? In that tea stall, from that radio, we heard Binaka Geetmala, Binaka songs. So many lecturers who wanted to hear the Hindi songs, they went in the evening or in the night to hear these Binaka songs. Even I went there, though I did not know much Hindi in those days, but I followed my friends, whether it was raining or not. Whatever the conditions were, we walked to the tea stall. And we didn't have much money to drink tea, but we had enough time to stand there and listen to those songs. But how did we go to the college? There were no buses. The college was a long distance. So we hired a tonga. 4 lecturers hired a tonga, and each one paid 25 NP. So 4 people sat in one tonga. The tonga wala took us to the college. But there was no tonga stand at the college. The tonga would come back to the town, dropping us at the college. And at the end of the day, when the classes ended, we slowly walked back to the tonga stand, all of us, one by one, two by two, groups of students. So, the very important thing, doctors in the sanatorium, wakils in the court, and teachers in schools and college. And a small group of devotees going regularly to the temple and coming back. And that road going to the Monda, only one road. In Monda, there are only a few shops. And there is no electricity. Yes. There was electricity supply at 9 o'clock in the night. There was no electricity before that, 9 o'clock. Would have lamps, we would have. Everywhere only lamps only. Yellow burning lamps. Of different types. And this electricity came in those days from Paras, I think, or from other place. And from there we used to get electricity, but not before 9 o'clock. This is how we know a short description of Ambazogai in 1965. Very beautiful place, very clean, very nice, noiseless, no problems at all. There was no politics, and nothing else. There were Muslims also, a small group of Muslims. Once I went to Yogai Mandir and I saw Muslims there inside. And they told me, sir, Muslims also would come here to worship. They would also ask for some boons, some desires to be fulfilled. They would ask the goddess. So these women you see outside, inside the campus of the temple, they have been waiting here for a long time. To say their prayers and ask the goddess. And this temple, was demolished by Mohammedans many times and rebuilt many times. Jogai temple. And then I began to wonder how this Jogai temple or worship of goddess came there. We don't have. But in Marathwada, in Pune, that side, there are temples perhaps worshipping goddess Devi, but not in Marathwada. Marathwada, the Ambai they brought in Jogai to. Then I read somewhere the Peshwas brought the worship of goddess to Ambazogai, and also Tulja Bhavani worship. So Peshwas brought the worship of Tulja Bhavani also. So this is about Ambazogai. It's a very small place. I love the place. Even today I love Ambazogai. If I were asked to go back from Gurgaon, I would go straight to Ambazogai. Ambazogai I would come to the Amul Kamble's house in Pagli.
Oh. Sir, were you married or single when you joined the college?
Not when I joined Yogeshwari College. Afterwards, my wife came to visit me for a few days to Ambazogai. But I married in 66. And my wife was in Hyderabad to complete her MA. She completed her BA, and then her father asked me, you leave her here in Hyderabad and let her complete MA also. And after her MA, you take her back wherever you were working and whatever the place. So, between BA and MA, she visited me in Ambazogai for 2 or 3 months. So, in those 2 or 3 months, she was the only woman to be seen in the street. Yes, people were going to the temple to worship, but not dressed in this way, in a Punjabi dress. And then a lot of lipstick and a kind of hairstyle. The first time they saw, and after looking at her several times, they came to the conclusion that she belonged to some doctor in the sanatorium. So whenever she went to a shop, the shopkeeper would get up and ask her to sit down, madam, sit down. He thought she was a lady doctor in the sanatorium.
Is it?
So in that way, she stayed with me for 1 or 2 months, and then she went back to Hyderabad to complete her MA, political science. That is about her.
Sir, what was your wife's reaction on staying in a small town?
Yes, it's a good question, because she wanted a very clean rooms, very nice place. I would adjust anywhere. I would need only a cot to sleep, a mat to sleep on, and a pitcher of water. But she wanted 3 rooms at least. A kitchen, a bedroom and a drawing room. Where would I find? I found these 3 rooms in Nagapurkar's bungalow. Vakil Nagapurkar. He had built a new bungalow in a corner of Kilwadi in Ambazogay. So 2 floors. On the second floor, there were 3 rooms and a terrace, long terrace, big terrace. So he gave me 3 rooms there, and my wife was with me. And what she did do? The 3 rooms had to be furnished. How would I get furniture for her? I would need no furniture at all. But she wanted furniture. So what she did in those 2 to 3 months, she went to a carpenter. She told him that she needed a cot. She told him how to make a cot, low level cot with planks, and then some furniture and some furniture for the kitchen. He got all these things made in 2 months. And she furnished them, and she brought some bed sheets, covered them, she kept everything ready. So 1 bedroom, 1 drawing room, and 1 small kitchen. So she began to like that, and she was there. And on the ground floor, my ground floor neighbor was Professor Buralkar. Okay? About him, you would hear later on. See? He was in Parli also as professor of political science. He was on the ground floor with his wife and 3 sons. And not very far from that, just a block away, Pramod Mahajan's father lived. Pramod Mahajan's mother and Pramod Mahajan's brothers and his 2 sisters were our next door neighbors. Okay. So again my wife was connected with those families. And in this way, she spent 2-3 months. Later she went back to complete her MA. Okay. And then she came to Parli to meet me, and we began to live together.
Oh, sir, being a South Indian lecturer and English speaker, how was your interaction with the people in Ambazugai?
Yes. Ambazugai people, they spoke only Marathi. And those people whom I knew, they were all school teachers or college lecturers. And most of them were Brahmins, college lecturers or school teachers. So the school teachers spoke Marathi, nothing else. College lecturers, they spoke English because they were all university educated, they were having a MA degree. And one thing, Ishika, you should remember, every subject was taught in English.
Oh.
Yes, the medium of instruction was English, not Marathi at all. So except Marathi and Hindi, all subjects were taught in English only. So the political science lecturer would teach Aristotle and Plato in English. And who were the students? The students, there were 100 students in the classroom who had just come from the village after cultivating land. They knew not a word of English. They never heard any word of English, neither Plato nor Aristotle. But we had a great professor, Professor Sabnis. He was LLM. He would hold the court like this and talk about Plato and Aristotle. There were hundreds of students. And you know how the students were dressed? All of them wore white caps. The whole classroom, from this end to that end, you saw only white caps. There was no head without covering. In the town itself, every boy, every young man, every old man covered his head. And the rest of the dress, was not clean. It was washed, but yellowish. I mean, many of them could not afford soap to wash clean. See? And they had only white caps on. This and that, and even in my class, 100 boys, all having white caps only. And paijama and short shirt. See? And we taught them English, political science, economics through the medium of English. Not a word of Marathi spoken there in the classroom.
Oh.
They spoke not a word of English.
Huh?
Nobody. But they knew one thing. This man is from south. So definitely he would know more grammar. He would be very good at grammar. So we should be very careful not to go to him. All Ambasuri Gurujis, were very, very thoroughly read by Ren and Martin. They were all Ren and Martin Gurujis. That you would ask your father, Amol, about this. They were thorough with Ren and Martin. But Ren and Martin would not make sentences of speaking. But they knew active voice, passive voice, direct speech, indirect speech. Very well. Thorough they were. So they were very, very cautious of coming to me. Not afraid of. Cautious. They loved me. They respected me. But what to ask him? How to go to him? How to greet him? So the Guruji would ask another Guruji, college lecturer, English speaking, you ask Suryanarayan Sir, how is he? When did he come from Hyderabad? Is he well? Because the Guruji himself did not know English. He would ask, my friend, see, you ask Suryanarayan Sir, how is his health? So that man would go back and tell in Marathi. See? Suryanarayan Sir came from Hyderabad today morning only, he is very well. And then we all met definitely at one famous hotel known as Samadhan. Very famous hotel Samadhan, even it's today is there. They are rebuilding it. Guruji is on one side, college lecturers on the other side. I would sit on this side. So Guruji would get a doubt in grammar. So he would write on a piece of paper and slowly push it towards me. From one table to another table, it would come to me. This is for Suryanarayan Sir, that grammar question. Then I would take it and I would explain it. See, this should be taught in this way. This is the meaning of this one. See? These are all written sentences, they are not spoken sentences. I used to tell them, nobody speaks this kind of English. See? But this sentence is written sentence. Written sentence, I used to tell them so many things. See? And they were very, very, very happy. See? And they gave me very good accommodation in Vakilwadi. They gave me a room, food, everything. See? Very nice people. Very nice people. So in this way, language was a little difficult for them to communicate, but there was a lot of love and respect. And wished to learn so many things from me. They wished to be very close to me and come to my room very often. This is what they were doing. And there are so many things to tell about the way I lived there, Everybody, a new lecturer who joined the college, what would you say? Sir, let us go. Where? To the Monda. Why? We want to buy a bucket. So 5 lecturers would go together and buy one bucket and carry it through the market. It was such a great pleasure for us, to go to Monda and buy a bucket, plastic bucket, and come together. See? And come to the stall and have tea, come together. And we are all unmarried. All of them are unmarried, except principal. Principal was about to marry, but all others were unmarried. Young, very well read in their subjects, but the medium of instruction was English. See? And the students were not at all prepared for English. See? And they were very, very old students, not very young students. See? My student who was in the first year or before that, he was 19 years old. 19 years old, he had already married. Childhood marriage, you know. His wife was working on the field and he came to college to learn. See? This happened very often. See? And he would not go back again to the field, to his wife. Once it happened, you know. My student who was always with me, see, he didn't go back. Then, you know, his wife's father-in-law, you know, he came to me. He came to me and said, "Sir, this boy who comes to your house is my son-in-law. So far he has not come to us to see his wife. See? And he has left her on the field, in the village. Sir, you please tell him, what does he want here, sir? I will give him one pant and one shirt." Huh? Your father would explain you later on. See? Sir, you tell him one pant and one shirt piece I will give him, sir. Please send him back. Ask him to meet his wife there and be with her. Then, you know, that was not the only end. Another man came and said, "Sir, I will give you a wristwatch, sir." Wristwatch was a very important thing in those days. Very important gift to be given to son-in-law or somebody. No? I would give him wristwatch, sir. You please tell him to come back. 6 months back, you know, he left his wife, sir, to come here and study. In the same way, another man said, "Sir, all I can give him is a cycle, sir." Cycle was very important gift, you know, cycle, wristwatch, and one piece pant and shirt. So many young girls, you know, who were married when they were young, you know, they were left on the fields. And the boys, you know, who were 20 years old, they were given some scholarships and other things. They were attracted to the college. So the whole classroom was 100 students, you know, and all of them were 18, 19, 20. First time coming to the college.
Oh.
See?